So I'm gonna read again from Hope Pursuit, my book. I guess I will start. I'm just gonna pick anywhere in the book. Let's see. All right, I opened the page. This is the page I opened to at page 74. I'm gonna start at the top. A couple of weeks into having the line, he tells me changes are coming. A rep in LA by the name of Lourdes, who had her finger on the pulse of things, started directing the company to a full rebrand. New fabric, new look, new name. Michael was born, and so was the floral printed California dress trend that typified much of the coming decade. The baby doll dress followed behind with their crochet lace tiered number. We got so busy launching this brand, it was like candy to a kid. My showroom went from the new and obscure to the new and hot one to watch practically overnight. I started regular trips to LA where I'd stay at Denny and his wife Judy's Hollywood Hills house right above Sunset in La Cienega. Judy was no bullshit and a driving force in the operations of the company. Denny and I would hit the downtown factory and I learned all about the business from the manufacturing side. I was brought into the line development process and helped pick out rayon prints we'd sourced from India. Later, we started developing our own. One such print was inspired by these small antique perfume bottles that caught my eye while I was taking a steam bath in their master suite. It was a hit. I realized then I had a knack for prints, a skill I would hone and amplify throughout my career. So, for those of you that don't know, I went up to found Allison Trixie, which is, this is an Allison Trixie dress, by the way, which is a fashion brand. I founded in 1997. And basically, up until 2019, October 2019, when I took a hiatus and then COVID happened, and we know the rest of that is history at this point. And then I ended up writing a book. So, and it remains to be seen what I will do on the next part of my journey. But for now, just, that at that moment, learning about the prints and developing the prints, and I really found that was a skill set that I enjoyed, and I found it really creative, and I love to look for pattern and color, and that really was, kind of what I brought to Allison Trixie. Though wasn't in the beginning, though. We didn't start with prints. Actually, no, the first styles we started with were prints, and those were prints that I was able to buy in this fabric store that they had the fabric in stock, and I did a program for Urban Outfitters. Eileen was the buyer at the time. This was many years ago, I'm talking 1997, 97, and Eileen was the buyer for Urban Outfitters, and I found these prints, these assorted prints, and we ended up making A-line skirts for her. That was one of the first big productions that we did, was with an A-line skirt, and we did some prints in the beginning, but then we kind of got into some other things that were happening. We were doing knits, we were doing stretch laces, we were selling to Anthropologie. I started doing private label for Barney's New York. I was doing wrap dresses for them, printed wrap dresses in a jersey fabric. So we actually were doing prints for them. But again, it wasn't like the whole brand of what it ended up coming to be in later years. But then we hit on this stretch poplin trend, and I talk about that a lot in the book. I don't want to give too much away because it's all in the book, but basically, from the time of Allison Trixie, it's probably like half of the book that really chronicles the journey of a fashion brand, how to start a fashion brand, how to build a fashion brand, how to scale, things like that. So that's what's the lessons that are in Haute Pursuit, in the book Haute Pursuit. It never was my intention to be an author. That's not true. I did go to school for writing. I did go to college for writing back in the day. I write about that in the book. I kind of abandoned that and went into fashion. So coming back to writing and writing this book was definitely not, it wasn't a bucket list item for me. And it is for many people. For many people, I want to write a book. They have this dream of writing a book. That was not my intention. So here I am with a book. But I had a lot of fun writing it because it really chronicles my journey. And I feel like it is like being a fly on the wall. That's what I keep saying. It's like being a fly on the wall in the fashion industry, become an overnight fashion insider. That's the promise of this book, is to really know what goes on, how decisions are made, the deals that happen. I even go into numbers and, how much things were, and, commission rates and margins and all this kind of stuff. Really, it's like a masterclass in how to be in fashion, how to have a fashion brand, be wholesale, be direct to consumer, My journey started in buying. So I talk a lot about that. I talk a lot about the retail selling floor. So yeah, it's definitely, it's been, it's 40 years in the making, and here it is in this book, In Hope Pursuit. So this is it. It was endorsed by Steve Madden. He says, what a great read. Michael Lee Gerber, who is, he has a bestseller, which I highly recommend. His bestseller is The E-Myth Revisited. That 8 million copies worldwide sold on The E-Myth Revisited, Michael E. Gerber. I really recommend that book. He is a mentor of mine. He writes remarkable, truly remarkable. So the book is highly endorsed, more endorsements as well, but I recommend it. I'm selling books.